YouTube and welcome back to my channel. I am Bella Foxwell, an Instagram strategist and educator that drops a brand new YouTube video on this channel every single Friday at 5 p.m. GMT. If you're new around here, hi, great to have you. If you are a returning subscriber, a returning viewer, thank you so much for your ongoing support. In today's video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about how to use Instagram to grow your email list, which is so important because if Instagram were to disappear tomorrow, what would you do about your community? Would you have a way of staying in contact with them? Would you have a way to continue building relationships with them and to continue telling them about your products and services and how you can help transform their lives? That is the power of an email list, and that's why it's really important that in tandem with growing your Instagram account, you are also focusing on your email marketing. It's so important, almost more important than your Instagram account. So I don't want you to neglect it. And in today's video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about how you can best use Instagram to promote and get more people on your email list. Remember, email, generally speaking, isn't affected by algorithms. Yes, sometimes emails end up in spam or promotional folders, but it isn't at the mercy of an Instagram algorithm or a social media platform algorithm that changes more regularly than we realize. So that is why email is so important. And remember that we might think that people check Instagram a lot, but you know what they're checking more than Instagram? Their email inbox. And so if you can be there speaking directly to your audience one-on-one, then that is an incredibly effective way of communicating with them, building relationships with them, and marketing your products and services. So without further ado, let's first talk about how to actually get people on your email list in the first place. What do you need to have in place to even get your email list going? So there's a few different things you can do, but today we're going to primarily talk about a freebie, a Facebook group, or a YouTube channel. Those are three of the main ways that you can get people onto your email list besides using Instagram itself. So let me talk through each of those in a bit more detail, starting with a freebie. Now, a freebie, i.e. a piece of free content that you give to people in exchange for their email address, is very well known online. You probably have one yourself, or maybe you've been considering creating one. It's a very effective way of getting people's email addresses. And a freebie can be in the form of literally a freebie, like a free PDF. It could be a free email challenge or sequence. That's one of my favorite freebies that I use. It could be a video series. It could be some templates that you give for free. Essentially, you want to make that freebie something very valuable, but not so valuable that you overwhelm somebody. You want them to be able to get a quick win from your free content. And so arguably, sometimes the best freebies are the ones that are simple, to the point, and get somebody results. Now, when we say results, we don't mean the results that you would get them, obviously, when you work with them, because that requires more time and energy and effort and one-on-one communication, or at least the use of your product. But there will be a way that you can help bring value to your audience by making their life a little bit easier or a little bit quicker in some way, or just a little bit more streamlined, make them feel better about themselves. So think about how you can provide something that will help achieve that for them. So for example, in my free 4-day email challenge, I essentially give people a very sort of condensed version of putting together or of elevating their existing Instagram strategy by walking them through the things that they really need to be focusing on to make sure that their strategy is optimized for success. Now, of course, that is something that I work on with people in much more detail one-on-one, but showing people the little tweaks that they can make now to improve their strategy is going to give them a quick win. It's going to make them feel better and more in control of their strategy, and it's going to make them feel like they trust what I say, they appreciate the value I've given them, they're going to have a positive association with me. So think of the template or the little bonus or the how-to or the tips and tricks. Think of something that you can provide that aligns to your product or service in some way, complements your product or service, and that gives your community a quick win and makes them really happy to be engaged with you and your content and moves them closer to being an actual paying customer or client. Another way of getting people on your email list is by setting up a Facebook group. Now, there are plenty of people who have Instagram accounts who also have Facebook communities, Facebook groups, where they go in there once or twice a day, sharing updates, answering questions, sharing videos, sharing articles, going live. Because arguably sometimes Facebook communities, Facebook groups have a slightly more intimate feel than Instagram. In some ways, it's easier to gather there as a community to chat together than it is on Instagram. And so if a Facebook group would make sense for what you sell and what you have to offer, then set one up and use it as an opportunity to get to know your audience better and to build closer relationships with them. And the way that you use a Facebook group to build your email list is you have in the entry questions when somebody asks to access your Facebook group, one of the questions would be, would you like to be signed up to my free email list where you're going to get regular, juicy content, value-packed, no spam? Now, people don't have to put an answer in there, and if they don't want to be part of your email list, they won't leave their email address. But this is one of the questions I have to my Facebook group, and 90% of the time people will leave an email address. So that is another way of getting people's email address. Just make sure that the Facebook group you're setting up, again, is providing lots of value and is providing lots of community and one-on-one conversation and solution focused rather than just a platform to sell. And the final way of getting people on your email list is with YouTube, with a YouTube channel, with YouTube content. This is my primary focus for lead generation because building an audience and being found by organic search is really, really valuable and is what YouTube really helps me to achieve. I get so many eyeballs on this content through SEO and people typing in how they can get help with their Instagram into the Google search box, into the YouTube search box, and then my content is surfaced, and that's how a lot of people find me before they even get to my Instagram account. And what I always make sure to do in every video is talk about my free 4-day email challenge, which I link in the description box of every single video. And that means that anybody who has liked the content that I put out in the video and wants to learn more and take the next step with me through my sales funnel, they can do so by checking the description box of any YouTube video. So this is the way that I get people on my email list. Again, notice how I'm leading with value. So I'm leading with value in the first place with a YouTube video that's value oriented, it's helpful, it's educational. And then I also have the free 4-day email challenge, which is what I give to people in exchange for their email address. So we've talked about the assets or the collateral that you can use to actually entice people to want to give you their email address, a freebie, a Facebook group, or YouTube content. But now the question is, how do you actually get people taking the action to join your Facebook group or to download your freebie or to head over to your YouTube channel? In this section of the video, I'm going to talk through some ways that you can do that. So the first way is the swipe up feature. If you have 10,000 followers or more on Instagram, then you will have the ability to add links in your Instagram stories, the swipe up feature as it's known, so that anybody that is swiping through your stories has the ability to very easily access whatever you want to link to by just swiping up. Now, not many of us have that feature. You might if you have done a great job of growing your community. I do over on my other Instagram account, The Doors of London, but on my primary now, the main account I use now at Bella Foxwell, I don't have the swipe up feature. And you know what? It's no bad thing because it stops us being lazy and relying on people to swipe up when more often than not, they're not going to swipe up because they don't want to leave Instagram where they're having a fun time looking at the content of their friends and family to go and check out a link that they may or may not have any interest in and they don't know if they 100% trust. So rather than relying on the swipe up feature, which of course you can do if you have, the second advice I would give about how to actually get people onto your email list is to make use of the Instagram story stickers. Now this is my favorite tactic to use because it really does get you interacting with your community in a way that you might not be at the moment. So you have a huge amount of stickers at your fingertips. You have the question sticker, the poll sticker, the quiz sticker, and all the emoji slider, and all of these Instagram story features or stickers you can use to get people on your email list. So my advice would be, whatever you are using to actually get people's email address, whether it's your freebie or your Facebook group, share an Instagram story that teases what is involved. But more importantly, tell people the benefits they can get if they take part, or if they join the Facebook group, or if they go and check out your YouTube content. What's in it for them? Don't just talk about the features, because that's great. We know that you are going to share really valuable content. We hope that you will. But what benefits can your community get? What is in it for them? Spell it out really clearly. Share that in an Instagram story, and then say to people, would you like to get your hands on my freebie? Yes or no? Use the poll sticker. And for everyone that says yes, and in fact, my favorite trick is don't give people the option of no, give them 2 variations of yes. And then everybody who clicks your poll, you can then send them a DM and either say to them, wonderful, what is your email address? I will add you to the list, which I think is a really good tactic so that you definitely get their email list and then you plug it into the freebie or the Facebook group. Or you can say to them, wonderful, here is the link. And in the DMs, you send them the link to whatever it is that you are sharing, your Facebook group, your YouTube channel, or your freebie. Another tactic is to do the same thing, share a story talking about what your freebie is, what's involved in your Facebook group, and then have the question sticker where people can drop their email address if they would like to be a part of it, if they would like the freebie or they would like to be part of the Facebook group. Again, you can then take that information and plug it yourself into your Facebook group or into your freebie opt-in landing page. Now, what I recommend doing when you are doing that is asking people, do I have your permission to add you to my ongoing email list? Because of GDPR, you want to make sure that not only are they agreeing to have your freebie, but they're also agreeing to hear further communications from you in the future. So just make sure you double check that with them and you get their double opt-in. That's really important in Europe. I'm not sure exactly the GDPR rules in the US, but it's always good to get that double opt-in just so you make sure that people really are 100% certain that they want to hear from you, and so that you know you're going to get someone actively opening your emails rather than somebody that lingers on your email list, doesn't open your emails, and is a bit of a wasted subscriber anyway. So speaking of Instagram stories, if you are going to share an Instagram story where you spell out what is involved in your freebie or your Facebook group, and you talk about the benefits, make sure you save this story as a highlight and make it really clear what it is. So whether you call it freebie, whether you call it free strategy, whether you say start here, whatever it is, make sure the title is really, really clear and then save it as a highlight so that anybody that is brand new to your Instagram account who might want to check out your stories and your highlights to learn more about you will instantly see your freebie and will that be that one step closer so much sooner at getting on your email list. So really recommend you do save it as a highlight. My final piece of advice is to just talk about it all the time. Make sure that you've factored into your content calendar that you are talking about your freebie, your Facebook group, your YouTube channel at least once a week. And remember, you can repurpose content from your freebie or your Facebook group or your YouTube channel, like I do with this channel. You can repurpose that content across your Instagram account, sharing it through main feed content, through stories, through IGTVs, through IG lives. You can make the most of that content, and then while you're doing that, you can tell people this is from my freebie, or this is what you get access to when you sign up to my Facebook group. Talk about it all the time. That is the best way to keep people alert and aware that you do have this incredible asset at their fingertips that they can join and be a part of. So that is my biggest piece of advice to you. Don't make something amazing and then let it die. Make sure you talk about it again and again. The final piece of advice I would give is if you are creating a freebie, make sure, as I said, that it is simple and short, but packed full of value so that somebody can get a quick win from using it. But don't be disheartened if the first freebie you create doesn't get as much engagement or downloads as you'd hoped. Make sure you talk about it a lot. And if you're seeing that not that many people are interested, or perhaps they're not getting quite the results that you thought they might, consider maybe pivoting, maybe thinking of another kind of freebie you could create. Or maybe rather than creating a freebie, maybe you do think about setting up a Facebook group. Don't churn through freebies without really finding out what your audience wants and finding out why a freebie might not have worked. But also know that not every freebie is going to be a winner, and that's okay. It is a bit of trial and error. We've all been through it. I've been through a few freebies in my time, and now I've stuck to one that I know does pretty well and people are enjoying, but that doesn't mean that I won't change it in the future. That's all for this week's video, guys. I really hoped you enjoyed it, and I hope you feel more fired up and excited to get people on your email list and to use Instagram to really fuel that and to really build your numbers and start building those one-on-one connections with people off of Instagram and directly in their inbox. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe and bell button so you never miss a new video when it goes live every single Friday. If you liked this video, I've dropped a bunch of links in the description box below, including a link to my free 4-day email challenge and also a link to my upcoming live workshop, which gets you planning 30 days of Instagram content in just the 2.5-3 hour workshop with me. Check out the reviews, check out the testimonials. I'd love to see you there. I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Bye.